College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by AT&T.
Back in gorgeous Las Vegas. Happy New Year. Thank you for making college basketball part of your evening. Utah State, the unanimous preseason favorite in the Mountain West, taking on UNLV. And the head man for Utah State, the reigning Mountain West Coach of the Year, best record through 50 games of any head man in Utah State history. On the other side, Thomas John T.J. Otzelberger took South Dakota State to 3 national postseason appearances in his 3 years, twice to the NCAAB tournament. Now tries to author a turnaround story in one of college basketball's historic powers. The lineups here, Dan Dickow, and a big note for UNLV. Donnie Tillman, Amari Hardy, out of the starting lineup for the last 3 and 2 games respectively, are back in.
Yeah, part of it is being home, a conference game, wanting to get off on the right foot as they prepare to challenge and then make an improvement in league play in Mountain West.
Also of note for Utah State, no Namish Kana. He is not in uniform wearing sweats. He had his own workout earlier today. Could be back this weekend for San Diego State. The series dominated by UNLV, but of late it's been Utah State, which has rarely won here. UNLV 15-2 against the Aggies in this building. Is there anything to that?
Well, historically, this is a difficult place to play. But Utah State has only been in the Mountain West for a number of years now.
Joined the league in 2013-14. The tap won by the Runnin' Rebels, who have their first win streak of the year. They've taken their last couple of games. A lot of close calls on the campaign. What are we seeing defensively here from Utah State?
We're going to see mostly man-to-man. Occasionally they will throw in a zone, but very rarely. Craig Smith wants their guys to be in the gaps, contain defense, make you shoot over a hand.
Catch and release. Amari Hardy splashes it down. When he came off the bench in the last 2, he only had 8 total points, Dan. It didn't hit a 3.
Well, he's a player that is the leading returning scorer from the season ago. Plays with a ton of confidence. We'll see if that opening 3 gets him going tonight.
Sam Merrill, nice up fake, kept the pivot. Off the screen, he gets doubled. Miller, outstanding shooter, 2 to shoot. He won't get it off. A shot clock violation. No, the travel first. Kim Kissinger rolls the fists, and the defense there for UNLV.
That's the exact attention to detail that Coach Otzelberger talked about at shoot-around today. Brock Miller wants to shoot it, make him put the ball on the deck where he's not as comfortable creating. Tillman did just that.
See if UNLV can find its rhythm offensively. Oh, nice roll off the screen. Hang and hit, and Bucket John.
Help side was late to rotate. Nice little pocket pass. And Bucket Jong, the nice finish.
Utah State can shoot, can score, can do a little bit of everything. UNLV flashing on the perimeter. Merrill. Time ticking fast. Aggressive hands in his face. The jumper, pure. That's a 2.
What a play from Sam Merrill. We're going to see a number of skills put on display this evening by him. He can score it at all 3 levels, plus he's great at getting others involved.
And with that, he is now the 7th Aggie ever to reach 1,800 career points. Congratulations to Merrill, great player. Off balance and travel. What are your keys tonight?
Well, for Utah State, I think you need to get off to a good start, take this crowd out of the game, keep UNLV off the offensive glass because they struggle to shoot it, and then for UNLV, don't turn it over and contain Sam Merrill.
That's a pretty high floater from Brock Miller. Tough to block that.
I mentioned a second ago, know the scattering report, make him put the ball on the deck. And if he does that, he is going to really expand his offensive game and provide a lot of options for Craig Smith.
70% of his shots come from deep, and that one from deep, but off target for Donnie Tillman, who's also been in a shooting rut in recent games. Send it the other way.
Oh, the carry on that one. I'd like to see that again. if we can. The official was in front of my vantage point, but Merrill doesn't turn it over a lot. That's a good call by the official there.
51 assists, 19 turnovers entering the game. Second best assist to turnover ratio in the Mountain West. Goes over top the screen, takes a bit of a drop. That's going to be an offensive on Amari Hardy. What'd you think?
I like the call. Sam Merrill understanding Hardy is a dominant left-hand driver. He slides, keeps his chest in front. Maybe sold it a little bit, but good call by the official.
Utah State has been ranked as high as 15th in the country this year, receiving votes in the poll currently. Dorius, oh, nice up fake.
Impressive move by the young man. Only a freshman. One of 3 7-footers on this Utah State ball club. I believe they're the tallest team in the country.
And indeed they are, and they show that height. The foul, but aggressive defense from the 7-footer Trevin Dorius.
That's what you want to see when you've got the depth that Utah State has in the front court. Don't allow Mbake Jong to get a clean look on the roll at the rim. Go ahead and foul him. Put him at the line where he's not a great free throw shooter, only 64% on the year.
Vastly improved. Was it just 52 a year ago? First rattles in. Utah State is sub. Diogo Brito in, Miller out. How does that change things for Utah State? How deep should we forecast them to go?
I think Utah State is one of the deeper teams in the country, at least in the Mountain West. Maybe not as far as consistent production, but Coach Craig Smith's willingness to play guys. 11 players have scored in double figures at some point this season. 4 players have scored 20 or more, so guys have a chance to get comfortable in his system.
I loved his answer when you asked him what his style was. He said a winning style, and he said it had to be malleable in the Mountain West.
Yeah, Mountain West is a difficult conference to win on the road, in particular, as Merrill has a nice finish on the cut. But you've got a mix of teams. Some teams that want to play fast, such as Boise State. Some teams that are really good defensively. San Diego State comes to mind. Some teams want to play slow. Craig Smith thinks that he's got a mixture of guys on his roster that can compete and play well in all styles.
Kuba Karvovsky ready to sub in for Utah State. Hardy aggressive against Merrill. Off the fake, floater, off. Merrill can't handle, loose, and hustled by Bean. Oh, Merrill shaping up, transition triple. Off target, swatted out of bounds. The creativity of Sam Merrill on display.
Scores in so many different ways. This time, moving without the basketball. The finish over the top, and Mbake Jong late on the contest.
Back in Las Vegas, UNLV has held the lead for over 3 minutes, down a point to the preseason favorite, and led by a new head man, TJ Otzelberger. A couple of runs at Iowa State, apprenticed under some outstanding head coaches, Greg McDermott, Fred Hoiberg, Lorenzo Romar, Steve Prohm. Said he's closest with McDermott, calls him weekly, and is beyond grateful that he gave him a shot. Plucked him away from the high school ranks and into Division I basketball, but he got his start at the infancy of his playing days.
Yeah, it's an interesting story.
Decided to try out for AAU in Milwaukee. His dad, a former baseball player and coach. That had been his primary sport. Hardy, the float. Oh, what time. Falling asleep with the wheel, and Mbake Jong flushes it home. UNLV back up a point. He got cut from both AAU teams in Milwaukee. So he started his own. He called it the Posse and became the GM, essentially head coach and player.
For early opportunity for him to learn how to recruit, to fundraise, and then to coach, because that's his ultimate goal, and he's now become a heck of a coach at the Division I level.
Former Division III player, only 5 to shoot. His defense has been true against Utah State. Bean forced to put it up, and the prayer off iron. Loose ball, won by Bean, and a foul. That Bean just finds boards.
He is everywhere. I talked to Coach Craig Smith today. He says the best way to describe Bean is he just makes winning plays. Averages over 4 offensive rebounds a game. He does all the little things that help a team be successful.
For Craig Smith, he was the 10th guy of the 10 getting minutes before he went from walk-on to getting time on the floor and eventually a scholarship as well. Now Bean keeping that pivot. Off target, Karvovsky gets the loose ball. It's only his second game back after an emergency appendectomy a little over a month ago. Porter. What does UNLV want to do pace-wise?
Well, historically, TJ Otzelberger's liked to play very fast, been in the top 10 in scoring at South Dakota State the last couple of years, but he's just trying to slowly implement his style and his philosophy here at UNLV. On the season, they're only averaging about 68 a game this year, but in the future, they will play at that pace.
And coaching a bit to what will help his team win. They did run a little bit more early in the year and hung with some pedigree name programs.
They did, but one of the things he said when going back and watching the film is they weren't as crisp and clean as he would like them to be. Granted, it's early in the season, but they were also turning the ball over way too many times, and those turnovers were leading to easy buckets at the other end for the opponent. And when you're doing that, it's a hard hole to dig out of many times. Make the game as easy as possible on your squad.
Alfonso Anderson is subbed in for Utah State. Jonah Antonio and Vitaly Shebel in for UNLV. 4 to shoot. Coleman uncorks. Rainbow miss. And hit the top of the backboard. That's even with the end line. Aggie ball.
But offensively, I've been impressed in the first 6.5 minutes or so with the ball movement by UNLV. They've done a nice job getting the ball side to side. Coming off of pick and rolls, and the bigs have been diving, putting pressure on Utah State's weak side to be able to be there.
They have the second best rebound advantage in college basketball, thanks in part to that supreme height. It's an ugly looking shot that rims out for Bean. Coleman on the trail. UNLV is flying all over the place on both ends. Coleman, single digits on the timer. Twirling, falling away. Bryce Hamilton sticks it.
Beautiful job keeping his balance through a little spin move, but one of the assistant coaches was hollering out shot ready. That time it seemed like UNLV was just playing side to side. You got to move with a purpose, catch with your hands and feet ready to shoot every time you catch it, so if the opportunity presents itself, you can take advantage.
Anderson trying to take advantage. Primary defender, he had a size mismatch and the friendly roll.
He played at a powerhouse in Seattle, Washington, Garfield High School. The head coach of Garfield is none other than Brandon Roy. Played in the NBA for a long time. Star at the University of Washington.
Part of that flavor. Hamilton, who has his own pedigree, lead for Antonio. 5 to shoot in a heartbeat. Coleman off the bounce, right down the lane, and he's fouled. With 2 on the timer. Bryce Hamilton, you probably know his cousins, the Hamilton brothers, Isaac, Daniel, Jordan of UCLA, UConn, and Texas. Bryce making his own name at UNLV, hanging and hitting. UNLV up a point on visiting Utah State in Las Vegas. College Hoops keeps coming tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, a double dip. James Madison against UNCW, and number 20 Dayton battles LaSalle at 8:30, only on CBS Sports Network. Obi Toppin, one of the greats in the mid-major ranks, heck, in all of college basketball. Who else stands out to you in the mid-majors?
Well, Kellen Grady at Davidson, I think, is as impressive combo guard as there is at the mid-major level. Jordan Ford, St. Mary's, Utah State knows him well. 22 of his 27 points came in that game. And Antoine Davis, I saw him against Gonzaga earlier in the week. Impressive, 25 points per game on the year. He had 31 at Gonzaga, 11 of 23 from the field, and something happened I've never seen before. The Gonzaga home crowd gave him a standing ovation when he checked out of the game with about 2 minutes left. A very impressive performance by Antoine Davis.
Jong already has 6, and that's emblematic of the night, right? It's a throwback game. Each team is shooting 50% or better from the field. We only have one made 3. The big fellas are making an impact out there.
Yeah, it's not necessarily what we were expecting when we were prepping for this game, but you know what? Both teams are playing with a nice pace to their offensive flow. And then on the defensive end, they've done a nice job of making things difficult, but the offense has made difficult plays themselves.
Back into the game, Donnie Tillman, the Utah transfer. The foul before the break went to Justin Beans as his first. What's the pressure here?
1-2-2, three-quarter court pressure for UNLV. Really kind of get Utah State to speed up if they can. Maybe take an early, ill-advised three. That might have been for anybody else but Miller, who's a great three-point shooter.
The defender, Jone Antonio, had fallen down, and Miller over 100 three-point attempts this year. DJ Onselberger a little hot. Baseline entry to come here. So Donnie Tillman picked up his first. Nice feed, Anderson. Double lying in wait, opposite, Brito. Pops loose. It's been a tight 10 early on for Utah State.
Good skip pass, Brito just not able to knock it down. John had an impressive defensive possession there, keeping Merrill in front.
An aggressive drive, and Hamilton floats it. It's a couple of times now they've gone right down the heart of the lane.
Been a little late on defensive rotation, but Hamilton aggressively attacking the cup.
Merrill had it knocked away and fouled in the process. What allows Bryce Hamilton to have this success?
Well, right there, you see just a little bit of shiftiness and Brito opening up the hips defensively, but left-handers always seem to have just a little bit of an advantage. You can talk about it and talk about it on a scouting report, but lefties are difficult at times to contain, and UNLV's got a couple of them, not just Hamilton, but Hardy as well, who leads them in scoring.
Merrill, their all-time leading free throw shooter, as Trevin Doria subs back in, Bean subs out. Merrill almost 88.5% career at the line. He is their top scorer, although his points are down slightly from last year. A little more sharing of the basketball this year.
I think, you know, the scoring is a little bit down, but his assists and rebounds are at about the same. He is shooting it a little bit better from the three-point line, but all in all, a very nice senior season is being put together by Sam Merrill.
Utah State 0 for 4 from 3. John on an ugly pass makes it work and then loses the rebound. Playground move by Anderson. Here comes Utah State. With Merrill on the bench, Brito the probing dribble. Anderson the hesitant load. And another missed three.
I'm not sure if that's the one that Craig Smith wants, but you know, he trusts his guys. As mentioned, he's had 11 guys scoring double figures over the course of the year. Anderson does have the ability to knock it down. 13 made threes on the year.
Double on the block. Jong able to reset, draw the one-on-one, foul on the floor. So fouls piling up. That's going to be 2 on Trevin Dorius. Do you sub him out?
I don't necessarily think you need to sub him out just yet. The luxury that Craig Smith has is he does have 3 7-footers in the lineup, and it does look as if he is coming out. And Karvosky is going to come in, but you take out a 7-footer and you put in somebody who's 7'2".
And we asked Craig Smith how would he manage minutes for Karvosky, his first game against a Division I foe after the appendectomy, and he said, honestly, I don't know. I've been asking myself that question all day. 5 to shoot. Oh, Hamilton having himself a day, and Jong helps clean it up. Utah State has gone cold, missing 8 of its last 9 from the field. UNLV is everywhere, smothering.
Very active, switching likes, getting out, denying passes, and retaining the dribble. But on the other end, Bryce Hamilton not able to get the spin move floater to fall, but Mbaka John has continued to be very active. 8 points now on the evening.
Hamilton gets a breather. Porter to trigger. Timer was moved back to 20 with the kickball. Kip Kissinger trying to allot for a little bit of space here before entry. All three of our officials working tonight have worked Final Fours, and the whistles are starting to pile up.
The crowd doesn't like the call, but baseline out of bounds. UNLV just getting a little bit too over anxious to be in the passing lanes. You've got to stay between man and basket.
Now to Nick Blair. Brito rejected. UNLV ball. Shaping up opposite. Jonah Antonio screaming for the ball. Coleman sees the double. Picks it up in a bad spot. Bad pass. Blair cleans it up. 7 to shoot. Oh, what a fake. Blair darts to the rim. Rejected by Karlovsky. Put back. Off iron. No. And Anderson's got it. Abel Porter. He runs point. Slices through. That was knocked off the iron. Stepping back. 3-ball off board. UNLV. Put back. Bucket. Donnie Tillman. Timeout. Utah State. Waking up the echoes in UNLV. The reigning champs in town and down 7. UNLV up 7 on the preseason unanimous favorite. Is this a goaltend?
Well, you got to see if the ball hits the backboard first before John gets it. That is unbelievably
It's real close.
close. Well, thankfully, I'm not an official, and I don't have to make that bang-bang call.
Out of Utah State's called timeout. The shooting has been suspect for the Aggies. Oh, nice cut. Miller fed on the bounce. Rejected. The active hands of UNLV again. Chin and spin. And Mbaka John. And Coleman hit in frustration by Miller. Well, Brock Miller's got his first. Team fouls starting to pile up here. 5 aside.
The energy and the enthusiasm UNLV is playing with has been impressive, but that is a mood killer if you're TJ Otzenberger. Not a good 3 by Mbaka John.
Merrill stepping back. Off target. Anderson. UNLV. Antonio is screaming for the ball. He's going to run in line. Tillman. Oh, nice job by Bean to collapse. Opposite 3-ball. Rainbow from Coleman.
He has been playing well. Started the last 3 games, had 16 against Robert Morris. A lot of confidence in that starting lineup.
And Miller responds. That's the first made 3 for Utah State. The Aggies had been 0 for 6. Couple of subs to the table for UNLV. Hardy and Hamilton ready to sub back in. I know that's not a comedy duo. 3-ball again. Heat check for Coleman. Friendly fire. Miller and Merrill bumping. Beam. Travel. Marvin Coleman, the former walk-on, had 4 made 3s on the season. He believes. And so does the rest of UNLV. The defending champs getting a stern test on the road. Back in Las Vegas, Mbaka John, he could have a double-double by halftime.
He's been playing well as of late, and he continues to impress. 8 points, 4 rebounds, a block. But what I think has been most impressive is just his overall level of energy and enthusiasm out on the floor tonight. He is quickly running into ball screens. He's diving hard, presenting himself as a target, which attracts weak side defenders, possibly opening things up for teammates on the weak side. Great start this evening for that young man.
And his length at the other end. This is a Utah State team that averages 82 points a game to lead the Mountain West. 7-11 in the first. They've got 15 points.
Not necessarily the typical first half for Utah State, but he touched on it in shoot-around. He wants to be able to execute in multiple ways of play.
You also wonder if this could be a trap game as the double team arrives there for Coleman from his backside. They never hit iron. 9 to shoot. Do they realize the timer? Hardy, 5 to shoot. Off the fake, leans. Hit iron. And Bairstow fresh to the game. Sean Bairstow. His first minutes, a wrinkle for Utah State. Nice overplay. And the tip ball means turnover. Shaping up for the three. Is that a good shot?
Oh, no.
And 2 Rebels fell down, and Jong is writhing in pain. It's a 5-on-4, and Bean flushes it home. But they're going to need an official timeout. What happened when Bake Jong?
They went up, battling for that rebound. Bake Jong got the worst of that, but that's what can happen when you take poor rush shots, such as that transition 3 by Hardy. The play before, he wanted to ISO at the end of the clock, and this 3 in Bake Jong, and it looks like, is that Justin Beam collided on the interior going for that rebound.
Athletic trainer Brian Lindell now out to talk to Jong. Looking at the small of his back, he hit the floor hard there, Dan.
Almost looked as if his feet started to come out from under him, and then when the contact, it was inadvertent. When the contact came, it kind of upended him, and then yes, he did look like he landed on the small of his back.
Take a look. Right block. Was there a tug of the jersey there?
It's hard to say. Utah State, Justin Bean is known for playing hard. Almost looks as if he blocked out the side of Mbaka Jong as Mbaka Jong's knee was trying to slide through that little opening to get better rebounding position.
And Jong thankfully helped to his feet. And certainly you think could pray for the best for the young man who needs a lot of help here getting off the floor.
That would be a big blow this evening because he has come out and played with a ton of energy, as we mentioned, coming out of the last break. But the last 2 games also, he has been a light of hope for the running Rebels.
His career high 19 points. He's got 8 at the 6:15 mark. How does UNLV respond? How does Utah State respond? Big chance for UNLV. 1-0 in league play. Utah State trying to go 3-0 in league play for the first time ever in the Mountain West. You can feel different tone to the building. Blair, 10 to shoot. 5 to shoot. Hardy off the spin. Bit of a prayer shot off, and Bean's got it. And you can see immediate change. If Jong's in there, it's probably not that easy, right?
Yeah, he would have given them offensive rebound opportunities as Merrill attacks the rim, gets himself to the free throw line. But offensively, the running Rebels, they're running ball screen continuity, which has become very popular. But when you catch the ball on the wing, you have to be a threat to shoot it or drive it. They're just going side to side at times.
That's the second foul on Marvin Coleman, 6th on UNLV. Tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern, a new edition of Men of March, a deep dive into Texas Tech head man Chris Beard's run to greatness only on CBS Sports Network. Took them on a run all the way to the title game. Merrill, he is automatic at the line. It's 7 unanswered for Utah State. And this could be a trap game, right? San Diego State, undefeated, looms next on Saturday.
You would hope not. You know, Craig Smith has told us, he has talked to his team about handling the responsibility at hand, which they've gotten off to a slow start tonight. But you're right, the game on Saturday is a big one. San Diego State, #1 in the country in net rankings. Malachi Flynn has really been a spark for them after transferring to the Mesa from Pullman, Washington, and Washington State.
Can UNLV find rhythm again? One away from bonuses each team. Oh, nice pass up the lane. Hamilton right on the spot. Is that a mismatch with Bairstow, freshman, getting the matchup there?
Well, UNLV's bigs have slipped the pick and roll a number of times, and if you're up thinking you're hard hedging a screen and the offensive player slips, it's hard to get back in position.
Miller 3-ball off. Utah State is missing threes it normally makes, right? Oh, and Hamilton is hitting shots that few can take. What a launch!
He has come to play this evening. 8 points now, but he's attacking the rim with a purpose. Talked about at times UNLV has been side to side in their offense. Hamilton has been getting into the teeth of the defense.
Bairstow slipping to the rim. That's off. Anderson took an elbow to the back of the head. Foul on the floor. We'll get Vitaly Shebill with his first, the Arizona State transfer.
Attacking in transition. Rito gets a little bit out of position. Hamilton, nice crossover, attacks the rim.
Bryce Hamilton mentioned his cousins. His dad, Kevin, played as well at UTEP. Under the Hall of Famer Don Haskins, went to 3 NCAA tournaments. That includes 1984, lost to UNLV, a Rebels team that fell the next round to the eventual national champion, Georgetown.
Impressive pedigree for that basketball family.
Anderson fooled in the air. Becker good and one. UNLV is not going away.
Well, you need to get production from more than just 1 or 2 guys, especially with Mbaka Jong out. Vitaly Shebill, not known as a scorer. Give him the ball in the low block. Back down Anderson to his spot. Little head fake. Draw the contact. Chance of the 3-point play.
Career 73% free throw shooter. Points in the paint. UNLV is plus 10, 18-8 against the tallest team in America. But make no mistake, UNLV certainly has its own size and athleticism. That is something that Craig Smith talked about. They're taking a look to see if there could be a flagrant. Could this be about the elbow on the opposite end? It looked like it was an inadvertent elbow to the head.
I would hope not. Obviously, we now have the graphics up there with the difference between flagrant 1 and flagrant 2. Both of those plays, to me, look like common fouls, but we'll leave it up to this great officiating crew, who, as you mentioned, has officiated plenty of NCAA tournament and Final Four games.
They take a look. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the verdict. UNLV all over Utah State early here at Thomas & Mack. A flagrant 1 foul on Alfonso Anderson of Utah State. That means 2 shots and the ball. Here's the play.
Well, it's deemed a flagrant 1 because by the officials it would have been excessive or necessary, which after taking a couple more looks at it, I can see how the officials lean in that direction, but that gives 2 free throws and the ball back to UNLV, a chance to extend this lead.
So Shebill at the line, off target. Sticks the free throw. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Brent Stover, Ryan Hollins, Khalid El-Amin, Gary Parrish stand by in our New York studio. They'll get you up to speed and all in college basketball. AT&T at the half. 7 unanswered. UNLV's first double-digit lead of the game. 3 ball, make it 13.
A lot of times the most dangerous player is the person inbounding it, whether it's sideline or baseline out of bounds. That time Hardy inbounds it, then comes off the screen for the open 3.
10 unanswered for UNLV. Merrill, who's been quiet, nice feed to Bean, he gets hit. That'll be a second foul on Vitaly Sheba.
As mentioned, got to recognize where the inbounder is headed after getting the ball in play. Hardy comes off the nice little down screen, open look, knocks it down.
Bean, top 5 free throw shooter in the Mountain West, makes good. Sub to the table, Brock Miller will come in for Utah State. He takes the place of Anderson. What group do you like for Utah State? How can they change things up to get better possessions?
I think with Keita being out, even though he's not necessarily a dominant scorer, he provides a presence. You know, it looks like they're going with a 4-guard lineup now, the ability to maybe space the floor a little bit more, put shooters out there. Justin Bean would be a screener diver, and as we know, he's really good on the offensive glass.
So he is their big man at 6'7". Jong, by the way, is back and on the UNLV bench. Hardy, nice behind the back move. He had Bean, what a leave in the bucket!
Stopped, changed directions as he went behind his back. Impressive moves.
Utah State, only 2 losses all year. And a little aggressive trying to rip it free from Bean. And there's Jong. Take a look at this creativity.
Switch on the pick and roll. Hardy recognizes that it's going to be difficult for Bean to keep him in front. Behind the back, change direction, and a nice find underneath.
So now that's 9 fouls on UNLV. This is the last of the Utah State one-and-ones. It'll be double bonus rest of the way, and the free throw a big part of what Utah State does.
Yeah, they are one of the best in the country at not only getting to the line, but knocking them down when they get there. But it's a bigger problem for UNLV than it would be for Utah State because of Utah State's depth and Craig Smith's willingness to play a number of guys.
Utah State top 4 in the country in free throw attempts and makes, and the top percentage team in the Mountain West. Probing dribble, the double there, what a fake! Travel, he left his feet there in between.
Well, they worked on that play at shoot around today, did UNLV, with isolating Tillman at that elbow, giving him some space to work one-on-one. But when that is the case, you have to understand, help side comes, make the play, get it to the open shooter in the corner.
They changed defense here?
2-3 zone now by UNLV, you're right, John.
Merrill, 3-ball, a little flat. They're able to rebound out of the zone.
And the harder things to do is to rebound out of the zone.
Offensive foul. Merrill takes the charge, and that's 2 on Hardy. Do you sit him here with 2.5 to go before the break?
Merrill, nice job staying in front, which is one of the harder things to do in defensive transition, keep an attacking dribbler in front. It looks like Coleman will be checking in for Hardy at the next dead ball, but that's one of the things Otzelberger is starting to learn is what guys he can trust in what situations.
Nice give and go, and Miller connects. Did they diagram that for the zone there?
I think a lot of the way you beat a zone, get the ball in the middle of the floor, compress the defense, and then have great movement on the weak side. Miller, that time the nice cut to the open area.
Deep 3, Antonio! 4 May triples, UNLV up a dozen.
Got to know the scouting report. Antonio, a great shooter from deep. Got to locate him, and a lot of times when an offensive player such as Antonio gets it going from the outside, they provide the effort on the defensive end, which many coaches want it to be the reverse, but that time that got Antonio going, gets the deflection, causing it to go off Utah State UNLV ball.
They're coming off their best game of the year against Eastern Michigan, had over 30 deflections. 4 out, 1 in. Ball disrupted. Merrill's got it. What's a good possession here?
You're down 12. You just want to get a couple good possessions where you get good looks going into halftime.
Brito rushed that one some. Tip ball. Bean the lead. Oh, wide open. Gets fed. Close out. Foul. They're going to get Sheebill. That's his third foul. And Jong's going to come back in. And Bake Jong, who limped off the floor with significant help after slamming his back onto the hardwood, is going to sub in for Sheebill.
Good sign for UNLV that Bake Jong is coming back, but there is nothing pretty about Justin Bean's game other than the fact that he gets it done and does all the winning plays, searches out contact literally on every opportunity. That time did just that, got himself to the free throw line.
Listen to the crowd as Jong comes back on the floor. There are some who have soured with the style difference for UNLV. They want the run and reps flying up and down the floor.
Well, they're going to get there. There's no doubt about it with TJ Otzelberger and what he's done in the past at South Dakota State. That's what he wants to do and what he wants to play. But he's got to get the roster to the point where he can do that.
The biggest thing you want to do is win, right?
Absolutely. Every coach is going to tell you that. We're going to play this style, that style, but once the games start mattering, they're going to slow it down to give their team the best chance to win.
Coleman kick, 5 to shoot. Tillman off target. Jong tried to save it. Shot clock violation first while he was airborne. So 44 seconds. UNLV has its use it or lose it. Also has double bonus.
This is where I'd like to see more college teams go for a quick 2-for-1. Utah State not going to do that.
Utah State, last time out against an NAIA foe, had 66 at halftime. They have 26 here. Merrill got bumped some by Coleman. Crossover, shook himself there. 6 to shoot. Brito, 3 to shoot. Free throw line. UNLV has the timeout, 12 seconds. Otzelberger says timeout, timeout. Now they're going to play through. 2 seconds. Merrill heaves. And UNLV up 11 on the reigning champs and the preseason unanimous favorite.
Got to like the energy that the Runnin' Rebels have come out with. It'll be interesting to see if Utah State climbs back into this game early in the second half.
37-26. After the break, Brent the gang in New York, AT&T at the half. It's college basketball on CBS Sports Network.